I like to look at, listing services. 95% of all well-priced houses will actually sell if they're in the MLS with one picture or more. So, so that to me says, oh, how important are pictures to actually selling the house? To me, it says that they're not that important, and yet they're absolutely critical to getting that client and to getting the next client. And then as we move more virtually, I'm willing to bet that that statistic is going to change in that we don't, if you don't have pictures, you might have 10 people that come to the house, but if you have pictures, you might have two people, which actually could be better because you don't necessarily need all those people in your house to sell it. I like to look at marketing, as twofold. One is it going to help me sell this house, or is it going to help me get this client, the one sitting in front of me, or is it going to help me get another client? Because let's say I have a sign up, an open house or listing collateral, or I show up in somebody's Facebook feed of the neighbor and they see that I'm active, they might actually call me to list their house, because they're the neighbor and they see that I'm active. Or you get the sign calls, the leads online. So while some of what you do doesn't necessarily quote unquote sell that house, it will help you lead generate, for more business and get that client. So I think what you do is extremely important for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And freeing up the agent's time to have more conversations with their clients makes for better marketing,
Yeah.
because behind marketing is the why. Why are we doing this? Who are we trying to target? How do we want to highlight this property or this agent's business? And so that's crucial. There is heart and soul behind marketing, and we need those questions and answers. And if the agent is too bogged down with administrative tasks to have those really important questions and answers with their clients, then unfortunately the marketing cannot be as strong.
I think I have a good example from this last week where, I always, in my ad copy, and I'm willing to bet you're the same way, I convey a lifestyle. I paint a lifestyle. Whereas a lot of the ad copy I see out there is like 3 beds, 1 bath, finished basement, nice patio. I like to paint a picture like this balcony is perfect for your morning coffee. And
Yes.
the basement's perfect for a media room, or if you play drums, or whatever it is you can do in the house. I recently listed a property, actually a rental, and it was painted all sorts of different colors. There was different kind of cool, but sometimes not cool drop ceiling or paneling throughout. And I was like, man, this is, well, it's been a week. We're not getting any showings. I was getting really nervous because as an investor, I know what it's like to have a vacant or a rental that isn't renting. And so what I built it was, I was like, artsy, funky house. And I was like, multicolor, look at this cool tile, da da da. And the one showing we got was from a couple that absolutely loved it. And they were like, it's so funky, we love it. So now whether or not they were attracted by my marketing, I don't know, but it really speaks to how it's not, things are not as obvious. Like it's not as obvious when somebody's looking at something online what it's like to be there or
Yeah.
how to use something. And actually it's very similar to something that I teach the agents in my programs to do, is do a rating game when they're at the home. And in my classes I go in more in depth, but one of the questions I have is, if the house is in a 7 such that you would buy it today and you label it a 5 or a 6, I'm going to ask you, what does it take to get it to be a 7? Because sometimes you might tell me something that we could absolutely ask the seller for and you don't realize it, or something that I could say, hey, you know what, the carpets, they could be replaced, can you do it after closing? Or the paint color. Like, so sometimes it's so obvious to us as agents what buyers and sellers can do, or in this case buyers, we need to point it out. We
Yeah.
can't take for granted what's obvious to us. And then sometimes if it's, let's say, the bedrooms are too small. So okay, this house that's a 5 is never going to be a 7. I don't help clients buy anything less than a 7. Let's move on. So in that way, I'm also showing my fiduciary relationship to them, that I'm putting their interests and needs ahead of my own. I'm not trying to push them into a house that doesn't fit for them. And I'm trying to help them be creative. Having learning those skills, hire you, train with me. We're going to get you help you get more in front of people and really show off your best asset, which is your asking questions and building rapport and showing people how much you care about them.
Yeah, I love the taking a piece of business, a house, whatever, and turning it into a 7 from a 5. And
Yeah.
I think that's what marketing can do with that grab, that hook. What is the call to action? What is that first liner? If an agent loves to write and they love storytelling, yes, they might come up with a very clever hooky grab, but it's not that easy for everybody. And all our program is asking for is, tell us about this house. What's so special about this house? And then we take facts and we turn it into a story, into that grab, into that call to action that will get the right buyer or client walking through your door.